So let's go over a couple different examples and conclude our budgeting basics. One thing you have to remember is you want to stay consistent across different categories. If you remember from our previous presentation that we looked at position, uh, number of courses, program length in weeks, the number of positions needed, hours per class meeting, and rate of pay, and among other things, to get a total cost per program. We also need to make sure that you're consistent when we talk about the number and variety of programs as far as increases or decreases. Significant operational cost as far as utilities and such, and see if they've increased or decreased. And significant salaries, how have they changed as well? So here we have another example of a program-based budget where we look at open swim, family swim, lap swim, learn to swim, and swim team. So this is a swimming budget within probably a bigger context. But here you can look at, we have the lifeguards, the concession staff, and a cashier needed for open swim time. And then we can look at lifeguard, concession staff, cashier during family swim time. And you can look at how the number of positions needed, the number of classes needed, the program length, and different things change across this. And then it really is just taking the formula that we used before, where you go for the number of positions needed, which is 4 on the first one, multiplied by the number of classes times the length in weeks, the meetings per week, hours per class, and then rate of pay. You can follow that across and get totals for each line, and at the bottom we get a subtotal per area. Let's look at it from a position point of view instead of a program point of view. So here we're breaking the positions into different types of categories. We have aquatic supervisor, a maintenance worker, pool manager, and so forth. And then we can look at the number of positions we have, the number of classes, program length in weeks. So when we look across this, we can really say some of these categories are not specifically relevant. So we're going to leave it as a 1. So that it just neutralizes as far as that, if we put 0 in the number of classes, that's going to neutralize that position, that line item. And then you can look, we got a couple people on salary. So we have on lines 2 and 3, we've got them on salary. So we don't have a rate of pay, we just have a total cost. And then down there, we do have some people on hourly pay. And then below that, we've got the benefits broken up separately. Full-time benefits is 28% of the total salary of the full-time employees. And then we've got a total up there as far as full-time employees. And then part-time employees, we do 11% of their salary is 11%. And then we get a total. And then we get a total cost with salary and benefits combined. So it's important to remember that budgets are just our educated best guess, that there are going to things that pop up that we do not expect, and we have to kind of plan for that a little bit. We got to understand that there's going to be things that may be cost incurred that we weren't planning. So we have to build that into the budget. We have to have a contingency fund, so to speak. So overall, we looked at basic budgeting skills throughout these presentations. We looked at a couple of different budget formats, specifically the program budget, which is something you're going to be very interested in. And then we also looked at the salary or the position line item budget as well. Remember that budgets can be very simple to very complex depending on the situation. But budgeting skills can be applied anywhere. So, I think that budgeting and finance is something that we can take with us in a variety of different avenues. And the outcomes, from good budgeting practices can be very valuable as far as planning for the future and staying financially viable. And that concludes our budgeting basics.